everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. We are practically living in a war-torn world right now. Well, the West Asian conflict doesn't seem to be subsiding. In fact, after the death of the supreme leader of Iran, Mr. Khamenei, people thought now Iran will get busy in a realignment of its domestic politics. Who will be the next ruler? Whether Iran will find a proper pro-democracy movement, as was being requested by a lot of Gen Z population in form of a revolt rebellion recently. The first ever such major breakdown after the 1979 Islamic rebellion. But it looks like Iran is also at the same time not ready to settle. And why should it? After all, Iran is a major military power. Iran has showcased a special strategy of war that is known as saturation strategy. Now, I told you in the Hindu class also in the morning that Iran uses these two technologies. One is saturation strategy. You have access to cheap drones and cheap missiles and you keep firing enemy with those. After some point, enemies' missile interceptor systems become saturated. They can't handle the pressure anymore and Iran gets his way. Second solution is to finance the NSA, non-state actors of terror like Hezbollah, Houthi, Hamas, militia across various other countries of West Asia to maintain a strong resistance axis along these countries, and today Iran has been doing exactly the same. So a war that was initially only between Iran versus US and Israel on the other side is today becoming a much more proliferated war. It is spreading everywhere in the Middle East and there seems to be no respite. So in this short video, let's understand how come suddenly Lebanon also got involved in the war, and in the end I will also talk about Cyprus, another small Mediterranean country which has now been trapped in this war without in fact even initiating the war from its own side. So what exactly has been going on? Let's understand. Now we know that Israel-Iran conflict is spreading to most other countries of West Asia. If you see the news, you will realize UAE is already involved. Qatar, the air base, Al Udeid air base, already involved. You have Bahrain, Manama already involved. You have Jordan, Kuwait and today Cyprus. All these are already a living participant in the war. Why? Because now finally the war is touching few new regions, like one happens to be Lebanon. Why Lebanon exactly? That's because Lebanon is an area where Hezbollah thrives, a non-state actor of terror. So finally in today's war, we just do not have Israel, Iran and US. We have other countries like, as I just mentioned, all these, plus the newer member Cyprus and Lebanon. Now, why was Lebanon suddenly involved? That's because initially, as Mr. Khamenei died in the war, we all know Iran has been financing and supporting these organizations. As I said, Houthi, you must now remember Yemen. I have explained in detail about the Yemen war, the division of Yemen into northern and southern regions. If the northern Yemen is supported by Iran in the form of Houthi militancy, it is the southern area that becomes a controversial proxy war between UAE and Saudi Arabia. I also told in the news about a very famous group here called Southern Transition Council. That's between UAE as well as Saudi. But Saudi wants peace here. It's the northern Yemen that's completely characterized by Iranian-backed Houthi rebellions. These are Shia militancy group. Now similarly here in the case of Lebanon also, Iran has for a very long time supported the Hezbollah. It is a militia. It is a non-state actor of terror. An armed group, but who finances? Iran finances. Now, as Mr. Khamenei died and as Iran was assaulted by these countries, including Israel, US, UAE on the one side, even UK, Hezbollah retaliated against Iran. And immediately after Mr. Khamenei's death, the news of the death spread far and wide. It was Hezbollah which fired a rocket and drone at Israeli city of Haifa. Why? To revenge the death of Mr. Khamenei, to take a very strong militancy-based ideological conflict against the death of Iran's supreme leader. After all, Hezbollah gets finance and support from them. So Hezbollah retaliated against the enemy of Iran, which it considers its own proxy enemy, Israel, and the city of Haifa was attacked. Then Hezbollah also said, we will take a revenge for the death of our supreme leader in Iran. What did Israel do? Israel also was obviously not quiet, and Israel carried out heavy airstrikes in southern Beirut, that's in Lebanon. But you all understand that all these wars are blind wars. When militias or armed groups fight against each other, it's always the civilians and the innocent people who get trapped automatically. And something similar happened here as well. The attacks happened in residential areas. People who are the civilians in Lebanon also died. There was a mayhem, a complete anarchic situation here. Weapons were being hit across the command centers, and Hezbollah said, now we will also keep retaliating, and after all, Israel will pay a price for Mr. Khamenei's death. So the war went on. Now you see, Lebanon, a country that wasn't even initiating the war, but it came in the trap of the war. Why? Because Israel was attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon, but civilians in Lebanon are also dying, right? So what was the action taken by Lebanese government? The Prime Minister of Lebanon, therefore, Mr. Nawaz Salam, came out and openly condemned this violence. He said, we will not tolerate anything, any active war against our citizens, and therefore he stopped Hezbollah from doing all its attack and activity. There was a massive nationwide ban announced on Hezbollah's military activities, and Lebanon said, we want peace. We will not decide war or peace on the basis of Hezbollah strikes on Israeli groups. So we are not going to tolerate this proxy war, and he therefore stopped Hezbollah and all the legitimacy that with which Hezbollah had been operating here. It also asked Hezbollah to hand over all the weapons and to surrender. Now this is very important. Why? Because Hezbollah is a very powerful group here. We all understand the power of NSA, non-state actors of terror nowadays, especially when it comes to cross-border terrorism. Let's not forget, when India was a part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, also the Colombo Security Strategy or the Colombo Security Conclave, there also India was categorical in saying that India stands completely against any form of cross-border terror. And the biggest worry that the world community is facing today is from NSA, group of terror militants who actually are not supported by the active governments anywhere, and still they operate either secretly or openly within their territories. Now imagine when India had an Operation Sindoor, India said, I am invoking Article 51 of United Nations Charter because I am not attacking Pakistan, I am attacking NSA. I am against various kind of terror groups that operate in the border region between Afghanistan and Pakistan, which have conducted the Pahalgam attack on us, you see. So that's the importance of NSA now. And Hezbollah has almost acted like an autonomous state within Lebanon. So today, as attack on Hezbollah starts and Hezbollah retaliates to Israel, but within Lebanon, automatically Lebanon gets involved in a war here. Now, as you are looking at Lebanon, especially South Lebanon, let's just remember a very famous region called River Litani here, okay? River Litani. Now, in the news many times, I have also explained about many other important areas that have been in the news in the last few years. One is Sinai Peninsula. So quickly tell me in the comment box, in which country will you find Sinai Peninsula? Then I would also want to know from you about Golan Heights. Now quickly tell me, under which peace pact, under which peace accord did Israel finally agree to give Sinai Peninsula back to the country where it belongs? So quickly tell me in the comment box which agreement was that and in which year was it signed. So you can see here Golan Heights in the broad region here of Israel, and then there is Syria here. So do not forget all these important map-based facts. Now, talking about how this conflict is now becoming a practical proxy war. Yes, it is, because you see today, initially it started as Israel versus Iran. Then it became US plus Israel plus UAE plus UK versus Iran. Today, suddenly it has now also become involvement of Lebanon, and as I mentioned recently, Cyprus too. This is not just about Israel and Hezbollah. It is now becoming a proper Middle Eastern war. That's the major threat that the global community is confronting today. But before we see the question, there is one important thing I want to tell you. Since yesterday, Cyprus, a small Mediterranean country, is also involved in the war. Now, there are two military bases which United Kingdom or Britain holds in Cyprus. Although Cyprus became independent long back, but right since 1960s, there are two important military bases that are in Cyprus, but they belong to Britain. They are often also known as BOT, British, occupied territories, or they are known as British outside, overseas territories. Exactly which two military bases are these? They were in the news today. In the Hindu class, we have spoken about them. So one of them happens to be the Akrotiri base. Okay, that's in the southern part of Cyprus. And then you have another one called Dekilia base. Both these are in Cyprus, and Dekilia is in the northern part of Cyprus. So quickly see the map and confirm for yourself exactly which are these regions, and today why is Iran attacking them? If Iran attacks them, then naturally Cyprus is also a part of the war. So a quick practice question that I had to show you. And now, why am I showing you the QR code is because you must, if you want to know more such interesting details about this war, about places in the news, then you must download the QR code and join the Telegram community. And now quickly let's see which question did we leave behind. With reference to the recent escalation between Israel and Hezbollah, look at these statements. 1. Hezbollah is a Shia militant and political organization based in Lebanon with close ideological and financial ties to Iran. 2nd, under the November 2024 ceasefire, Hezbollah agreed to withdraw its armed presence from the north of Litani River. And 3, the Lebanese government has full operational control over Hezbollah's military decisions. Which of these statements are true? An easy question if you've understood the concept. And a quick reminder about the Holy Sale. Well, the Holy Hangama Sale is what it means because it's 55% off on UPSC courses 27 and 2028. Plus, with using code SPLIVE, additional discount available. But all these discounts are available only till 6th of March. So enroll today and take a guarantee for success in the UPSC exam only at StudyIQ. Thank you.